Ow.
What's up, guys? It's Matt.
And Aaron.
And this video today is going to be our Zelda series rant. We're going to rant over the series, not any particular game.
Now, everyone knows the Legend of Zelda series is one of the greatest award-winning series of all time. We're going over the entire course of the series, starting from the original game that premiered on the NES to the most recent game, which is coming out on the Wii, known as Skyward Sword. Now, if you have not played Zelda, we strongly encourage you to start playing Zelda. It does not matter which game, they all pretty much have a different storyline, even though they are all linked in some way.
Zelda is a great game. I mean, in my personal opinion, I've played every single one, maybe except for 2. I don't know. But, I mean, they're all really good up until a certain point. I mean, the originals, the Zelda 2, Adventures of Link, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask are probably the best of all time. Well, of those 4, I'm going to let y'all vote because it's a very mixed opinion. I prefer Ocarina myself.
Now, in my personal opinion, Ocarina of Time is the greatest game that they created, and possibly the greatest game that was ever created in all time. But another great Zelda game that came out was Zelda Oracles of Seasons and Oracle of Time. These games were for the Game Boy system and were very... They revolutionized the... I don't know what to say here.
That's like I said, those are probably the 2 games I haven't played, so I can't...
Okay, well, they are extremely good, well-made games, offer great puzzle solving. They will require a bit of time unless you've played them before, in which case you...
All Zelda games require that up until a certain point.
Yes.
Zelda's a good series. I mean, right here I have the Zelda's Collector's Edition that came out for GameCube, which was the first 4 games. I'd have to say it's 4 of the best games in one package. You can play it on your GameCube, or if you have a Wii, slide it into your Wii. Hours pass by. It helped me get through freshman year, and that's a lot. That's a long time.
Yeah. The Zelda game series is known for its great graphic effects, its amazing storyline.
You can't say great graphics effects. Ocarina of Time was terrible.
No. For its time, it had the highest rated graphic effects.
No.
For its time.
Final Fantasy was in its time.
No. Final Fantasy... No. Legend of Zelda was considered to have some of the greatest graphics.
Sorry, Final Fantasy is always one graphic-wise. It's...
This is not a Final Fantasy rant, Matt. This is a Legend of Zelda.
Zelda, I'm sorry. We'll keep going.
Okay. But it is considered to have good special effects for its time. I'm not going to say the best anymore, because I know Matt does not agree with that. I'm going to say it has phenomenal effects for the system it was on and the time it came out.
Ocarina of Time did revolutionize, I'll have to say that. I mean, it brought out a whole new experience. It was I guess you'd say, of the time, 3D universe. They've recently released Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS. Yet to play it, but I played the original, and I've watched other people play it. The graphics are truly revamped. It's a beautiful game, but it's on the smaller scale. It just doesn't capture it as well, I guess you could say.
The Zelda games storylines are almost similar, but not completely. You start off with playing the game as a young man named Link. In some games you can change his name. In fact,
almost all the games.
In all the games you can change his name to whatever you want, but usually I'll just stick with Link because
Link is the character's name. If you Google search Link, you will, well, depending on how you spell it, yeah, you will get the main character. Zelda, however, is the female, the love interest, and female protagonist of the Zelda series.
To those of you
though it's not technically about her in a way.
To those of you who think that Link is Zelda, you can... I'm not going to say that.
Well, I did for the longest time when I was younger, so...
Yes, but what younger kid is going to look this up?
My nephew.
Fair enough. Okay, the Legend of Zelda series had originated back in the 1980s. It came out on the NES, and I'm a walking history book on the Zelda series. I'm not even ranting about it right now.
Yeah, I'm the game man. I know info.
All right.
I got the games.
Well, then start ranting.
The game is, like I said, beautiful. This was its climax, its best. What came after, the closest thing that came after, that I own is Twilight Princess. It was a beautiful game. It was kind of short, though. I mean, compared to the original, I mean, it was a remade, revamped, in its own way kind of version of Ocarina. I thought an interesting effect was that you could turn into a wolf and then back into Link himself. It made for interesting gameplay styles, and then it introduced some new types of weapons, like the grappling hook, claw shot. And I thought it was pretty good.
Well, they have something similar to the claw shot in every game.
Yeah, but I mean, after this one, claw shot is always what they've used.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, they haven't actually made them. Anyway, another Zelda game that came after the Ocarina of Time that I thought was amazing was the Wind Waker game. This game was it was fun. I felt it was extremely short, but that's just me. I get through games pretty fast. It brought in a new style to the Zelda series in which Link was a cartoon character. This didn't start it. Actually, one of the
actually, this did start it.
No.
Yes.
Four Swords Adventure brought up the...
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But technically, that was on the Game Boy, and this way the system was set up, you couldn't make it look non-cartoonish.
Well, it starts... what's different about the other Zelda games is you are now playing as Toon Link, which is a more cartoonish version, younger version of Link.
In my opinion, every game with Toon Link is awful. I'm not saying it's not fun to play, but it's an awful game. And if you're a fan of the series, like I am, my sister is, he is, well, he's an exclusion, obviously. But it's really just awful because it just demoralizes and kitties up. If that's even a word. It's a word, I used it. It kitties up the entire Zelda series, the entire universe, cartoonized. You see, this little, it's just awful. I mean, if you play your amazing games like Ocarina, and then you play this, you're like, WTF? What the freak is this? I mean, it's just.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this, Matt. I think they meant it. Sure, it cartoonizes it and makes it more friendly for certain age groups, but there's a certain graphical effect that they have in it that brings it like more color. It's fun to play. I felt that it still presented a challenge, even though it was meant for younger age groups. It was sort of a lengthy story. It was as engaging as the other ones. It was not as engaging as something like Ocarina of Time, maybe, but it was still an engaging storyline, and it was fun to play.
I can't see that only because it's just that Zelda is this deep, huge world of Hyrule. It's beautifully designed. I mean, the trees, the day to night, the creatures, just everything about it is a beautiful game. Even in its older states of the original game, it was a beautiful game.
I will admit, if they had created the Wind Waker with more with actual graphics, it would have been a completely amazing game. I would have considered it up there with the top ones. But
I'll have to agree. It was difficult, but it was short.
It was short. It also brought in a new style to the series in which you could actually locate go around the world of Hyrule in a boat. It brought up a new style in the series that has been seen in all the other Toon Link games since then.
But you also got to realize you weren't technically in Hyrule, yet at the same time,
spoiler alert,
you were.
Okay, to those who have not played the game, we will be spoiling a bit of this to you.
It's supposed to be set, like, I think it's so many years after Ocarina.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, I guess what once was Hyrule, is submerged in water except for the islands here and there. First off, what the heck? How does that even make sense? So you're telling me that at some point in time, a giant flood floods Hyrule. Now there's oceans taking over everything, and there's these. That doesn't make sense.
I think they explain more of it if you actually progress to the end of the game. Have you actually beaten the game?
I have not.
Okay, so it's...
I couldn't get into it. I mean, I was just like, this is annoying me, kind of through the controller.
Okay, I'll admit, from Matt's perspective, it was not as good as the other Zelda games. If you're someone who will if you're a diehard fan of the series, I recommend Wind Waker for...
I mean, if you like the other games, I recommend playing it. It's Zelda, it's good.
Yes.
But it's demoralizing to Zelda. It just breaks down the initial concept of Zelda.
I will agree with Matt on this one, but I disagree and I agree on some subjects. I'll just leave it at that for right now. Moving on to a different game.
Right now we have right here the Zelda Phantom Hourglass and Zelda Spirit Tracks for the DS. Now, see, like I said, I hate Toon Link in every game he's in. I just think it's demoralizing and it brings Link. This kid is not even Link down to a level. It's not right. But, I mean, these games were really enjoyable, and they were on handheld systems, so the Toon Link, I understand. Of course, now, if it was 3DS, I don't understand, because they show you can do it the real way. But, I mean, these games were pretty good. I mean, Spirit Tracks wins, in my opinion, because it was just... This one was just kind of annoying. This one actually was fun.
I'll have to say they were fun games. They were the direct sequels of The Wind Waker.
They were, that's true.
I felt that Phantom Hourglass, however, was a more fun game because after a while in Spirit Tracks, I felt that going constantly around in the train got a bit tiresome and repetitive. And
yeah, that does get repetitive. It does get annoying. But my main problem with that is the bosses and the fighting in Phantom Hourglass. They're similar, but it didn't work for me.
I understand that. However, I did feel that certain things that they could have done in Spirit Tracks, they could have made it better. As far as effects-wise for the DS, they were phenomenal effects. Could have been a bit better, I suppose. But let's see. The story, to me, the storyline could have been a little bit more engaging. I did not feel its storyline was as powerful as the other games. But I did complete the game, and I felt it was still a good game, even though it did not live up to the past games, I felt.
I played them through both. I mean, I can't remember them because a couple of years ago. But not bad. I enjoyed them. But again, Toon Link really demoralizes Link. It just doesn't catch him at his ultimate... He's one of the greatest heroes in video game history, in my opinion, when it comes to